Yo guys, what is going on? You got Techno here, and this is something that I just wanted to upload. Something I've been planning on uploading for a while, but now the time has finally arrived since it's officially over for me. So this is going to be my quarantine draft tour run. Just a tournament that I was in recently, but it was one of the most interesting tournaments I think I was in. So if you guys don't know about me, my favorite way to play this game, I like playing in leagues. Team tours are cool, but my favorite way to play is most definitely in the individual 8-mon tour. It's just the most fun to me. Getting to play through like a bracket and stuff, playing out of pools, shit like that, all of it is just the most fun to me. I think it's also one of the more competitive ways to play overall. Since it is single elimination, you can't get bailed out by some bullshit all the time, like you can in the league, definitely much more frequently, but that's neither here nor there. Every way to play is definitely kind of equally as competitive now, I'd say, but this is just my favorite way to play. Anyways, so the way that this tournament was actually very interesting, and it was like no tournament I'd ever seen before for individuality. I think they decided they weren't going to deal with all these pools and stuff. They didn't want to make sure. They didn't want anyone to like have to make out of pools and then fight in a bracket, so no draft pools either. So what they did was they actually made the entire thing a winners and losers bracket, and they made it so you could pick your entire team based on their points. And just submit it, and that's what you'd be able to use. So you got to just pick everything you wanted on your team, which at first kind of turned me off from this entire tour. I was like skeptical because I wasn't really confident in my ability to make a good team. But as the tour progressed and it came closer, I was like, you know what, I'll submit a team. It actually does seem pretty fun. And I just decided, you know, just whip something up, see how good of a squad I can come up with. And yeah, it was definitely a pretty high stakes tour because there were like, what, 278 people, I'm pretty sure. A lot of my good friends were in it too. So it was definitely no slouch. I definitely wanted to make a point for myself, prove that I could do good in this, considering that this is one of my first tours ever since coming back to Pokemon. And last generation, I used to do really well in tours. I was very consistent, which I guess, you know, consistency is a word that I don't really like throwing around right now. Because, you know, you can be consistent, you can place top a lot. Not many people really place top frequently. Most people end up drowning in bracket early or drowning in pools. Not me though. I feel like I've definitely kind of been able to keep up a consistent pace ever since you know, the days of Gen 7. But that's because if you guys saw some videos on my old channel, or my old channel, you know, I guess my older channel, the older days of my channel, you saw that I got top 3 and TTM that one year. Some other shit that I don't need to go into in this video. Most of you know what I'm talking about. Let's see, just other tournaments I was in, Brawl for All, stuff like that. The Brawl for All was actually probably my worst overall, because I think there was one time I didn't actually do that well. But for the most part, I've just done really well in tourneys and stuff. But the issue I've had is that I find myself unable to win frequent amounts of the time. I find myself getting really close, but I just cannot seal the deal. So I was really hoping for this tournament that I would be able to put in some good work overall. But, you know, we'll just see how it goes. Yes, and see, this is a long video, so I was in this tournament for a long time. Now, if you guys didn't follow my run, that could mean anything, because honestly, this tournament had, what, like 15 rounds of losers bracket? So I definitely did not fuck with that. I did not want to be in losers at all. I didn't feel like playing so many games just to have to play 2 games in grand finals. No, that definitely didn't cut it for me. But I enjoyed the idea of a losers bracket. We're currently using it in the cash game tournament that we've created. But still, it's I felt like it might have started a little too early on this, but it was fine. I mean, either way, it was interesting to see a tournament with a losers bracket. Not to mention, this tour was very quickly thrown together, I feel, just because of the circumstances of, you know, the whole you know, everything that's going on right now. And it is called the quarantine draft tour for a reason. I mean, just something to do in the meantime. But there was a $60 prize for first place, so definitely very intriguing for me. Anyways, let me actually just get into this team that I had right here. So you guys can see my team. I'll go over it. So basically, when I'm looking at these teams, or the way that like you could have picked a team in this, it doesn't make much sense to me at all to not just go with the most broken options. I mean, there were some mons I felt like were very good value for their price. Like mons like Rotom-Mow and Seismitoad were very good value. Many people picked up Seismitoad actually because of how good of a value it was. Not to mention, because there was a big influence and a heavy influx of people that played primarily Smogon participating in this tour, and those people are obviously more inclined to use SkySplitter, which is the top OU threat right now, or maybe not threat, but it's a top OU defensive staple. I believe it still is. I haven't played Ores. I haven't played Sword and Shield OU in probably like a few months now, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I decided, you know what, I want to get like a completely broken offensive core. I know myself, I know much better with offensive teams than I am with super passive teams, so that's what I ended up trying to go for. And ultimately what I decided on is I would get a core of, this is all post DLC by the way, so I get a core of Dragapult, Tornadus T, and Mega Mawile. So Mega Mawile is a mon I haven't really used all that much, especially not this gen, but I have used it before and it has put in work every single time I've used it. It's definitely been something I've enjoyed, and when you're playing in 8 mons, then it's just ridiculously good. I mean, there's just so many limits. All the switch-ins are just completely limited. Now, Melmetal was one of the most picked up mons in this, and Melmetal I think is one of the better switch-ins to a Mega Mawile, but I guess we'll see. Luckily, I actually didn't get very many Melmetals. I think I might have gotten only one this entire tournament actually, but yeah. And the other two, Dragapult I think is a beast. If you guys saw my my tier list, basically where I consider all the mons just currently right now, I think Dragapult is easily one of the best, alongside with Tornadus, which I think is the best Pokemon in the game right now. Just all the stuff you can do, and I would be lying. I'll admit, like, this tournament definitely swayed my opinion towards Tornadus, thinking that it was the best, better than anything else that I'd really seen. I want to pair that with something else that was really good. Sorry if you guys heard my doorbell right there. Something else that was really good with the new DLC buffs. So I got Zam. You guys can see right here, it's just regular Zam. You obviously cannot use Mega Zam because that would be completely broken. Especially considering that they can run a Nasty Plot now. Yeah, no league is going to allow that. No tournament's going to allow that. Absolutely none of it. I can guarantee you that much. And if your league does allow Nasty Plot Mega Zam, then God help you. And I hope that your children are okay. But yeah, Alakazam is just a menace, especially with Nasty Plot now. It's just such a good mon. And even with not being Mega, it just has such a good speed tier. It just breaks through so much shit. Let's see, and then I also had, so I decided to get a defensive backbone with these amazing offensive threats. So if you guys don't know, my profile picture on Discord is the god himself, Lord Garmadon from LEGO Ninjago. So after I won the LD chip, which I might upload some videos of, the LD Majors chip, not Masters, but we'll be there next season, and hopefully get that. But yeah, probably we'll see. But anyways, after I uploaded that, or after I kind of won that, I was like talking about, like, if you guys have seen Ninjago, you know, the 4 golden weapons and shit. And I would definitely say it definitely applied much more here. These guys, most certainly, not Colossal, fucking Colossal is whatever, but these guys right here were definitely my 4 golden weapons of this tournament. Overall, they were just amazing the entire time. I decided for a defensive backbone, and I had a Seismitoad and a Rotom-Mow. Rotom-Mow is just really good overall. A nice defog, Volt Switch is always really nice, especially with Tornadus, so good Volt Turn core. It is able to break through a lot of the bulky grounds, which is really good for mons like Mawile. Seismitoad is also able to do stuff like that, and it gets up Stealth Rocks, which I was lacking on my team besides Mawile. I decided to get 2 Rockers too, because I figured I would never want to run Rocks on Mawile. It just seemed completely redundant. So I got Seismitoad and and they were both really good overall. Well, maybe Seismitoad a lot more, because Seismitoad is clearly much better than Colossal as a Pokemon. Because Colossal is just, I don't know, Colossal is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good for its value. It's like 5 points or 4. I think it was 4 in this. That's why I got it. But yeah, it's really, you have to run boots on it every week because it's defensive and it's weak to rocks. So that's one annoying thing about it. But also, you know, the 4 times weaknesses are not pretty at all, but it is a manageable mon. It has some cool stuff. Spikes and Rapid Spin are both really good on it. But you can also get Stealth Rocks too, obviously. So yeah, I think that this thing is a sleeper, but I don't think it's the best. And then my last mon, I just got regular Coughing. And you guys will see I picked up Coughing just because, but I felt like it was actually really useful because I needed T-Spikes, kind of. Maybe not. I just thought T-Spikes with Dragapult would have been really cool because of the Hex combo, which a lot of people tend to run a lot. you know. And also, Coughing has some cool stuff that we'll get into at a certain point in this video, but let me just get into this. So, I apologize, I don't remember all my teams perfectly, but I do remember most of the battles pretty well, I'd say, as I did participate in all of them not too long ago. But yeah, so my first game was up against this guy named Yumcake. I think his name is AJ on Discord. I heard some good things about him, that he was a good player. And he had an immediately threatening team. So he had like Sun with Torkoal and Houndoom, which is a really big threat all the time. And every Sun team I ever saw, recently has run Kyurem on it because of the new Weather Ball combo that you can run. He had Victini and Tapu Fini and Lando, so a really good team overall. And I think his last one was just some redundant shit, honestly. I really don't remember what it was. But yeah, the team I brought for this, I brought Mawile Standard Offensive. I think I was able to live in Earth Power from Specs Kyurem V, or Specs Kyurem, or maybe not Specs, but like just max special attack modest, because I don't know if I can live in Earth Power, honestly, with the Mawile from a Specs Kyurem, no matter what investment I have. But either way, yeah, good this game. I think I had Hyper Cutter in case the Landos tried to switch in, but I expected Torkoal to come in most of the time anyways. I have Sash counter Zam with just coverage for his team, so good set overall. Scarf Dragapult, so that, oh yeah, right, his last one was the Venusaur, I'm pretty sure, and it was either Venusaur or Victory Bell or one of those guys, you know. But I decided to run Scarf Dragapult so I could deal with them as well as deal with possible Scarfers on his team, as well as Flame Charge Houndoom. Which were all stuff that I saw as a possibility. I just thought this Scarf Dragapult was good this game. I didn't really need it to break that much, so I figured I might as well just go with the Scarf set. Colossal, I think it's just standard. Just Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks, all that. Didn't bring Seismic to this game because I felt he'd have Solar Beam on all his guys. And then I have Tornadus. I think this is like a subset, I'm pretty sure I brought this week. Sub with Metronome, I think, or Skyplate, one of the two. And then this Rotom, honestly, I didn't need anything else, but I was terrified of this Kyurem, so I brought like this Thunder Wave Yachi Berry Rotom. I think I had Weather on it, like Rain Dance or something, just to make sure I could get rid of the sun if I really needed to. Just kind of, honestly, it was kind of just a throwaway mon this game. Sometimes you just gotta bring a fodder to some of these guys, but yeah, let me just get right into this because I've been rambling for long enough. But so he's gonna lead off with the okay, by the way, let me mention before this, so as I am going into these games, I'm terrified I'm gonna lose, especially this early on. I really, like, it would really suck for me if I lost this early in the bracket. And technically, at this point in the bracket, I was playing a play-in game to the bracket because for some random reason, the whole seeds were random. It wasn't like you were seeded based on anything. It was just completely random. So this game was a play-in to the main bracket, so an extra game basically. So if I lost this early, I would have been really embarrassed with myself. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So Alakazam is going to be my lead versus the Kyurem. Now I decide, okay, well, he can't kill me with anything. If he Specs, he might be able to knock me down to my Sash, but if he's Scarf, he won't be able to do, he'll probably leave me like right here with an Ice Beam or Draco. Draco will probably knock me down to like right around here. I would just imagine from a Kyurem. So I just click Focus Blast. I don't want to risk anything. I don't really have to predict a switch, and I will just click the Focus Blast, and he will go right into the Victini as I am just going to, fire off the Focus Blast, and I will miss, ironically. That is how I start off this, and we'll just get into it later, but yeah. And here, now, I know he's going to go for U-turn, or he's going to go for, I would assume, well, really every time I assume to go for U-turn, or some random bullshit like Focus Blast. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to counter right here, and yep, so I just am going to counter the Fini, and it's going to drop 100%, gone, bop, awesome. So yeah, back's going to come the Victini, and here I know he's going to click Focus Blast or U-turn, so I decided to preserve my Alakazam and just go right into my Dragapult as he goes into the Kyurem. Now, since the Misty Terrain is up, I can't kill this thing with the Draco, so I'll U-turn into my Rotom. Once again, as I said, designated sack. This also covered the possible, Earth Power prediction, but yeah, I decided to just sack it there, and in is going to come my Mawile, so this is the easiest switch to Torkoal read in my life. Even if he doesn't, I get a huge damage with Stone Edge, probably killing it, so I will just Stone Edge right here, and yeah, Torkoal will take 57%, so this is an easy 2 KO, and there's no way this thing's outspeeding me. There's no way about Scarf Torkoal versus me. If he did, he's a madman, and I don't even know if it would kill, but I will click Stone Edge again, and you'll see it just crits him. Now, like I said, I was super nervous this game. I wasn't making nervous plays at the moment, but I was like shaking. I was like terrified. I will admit, I kind of forgot that I crit the Slanderous, which we'll see later in the game. I completely forgot I crit it, and it's at like nothing now. But back will come the Torkoal, and I decide to just go into my Tornadus, and here I go into my Colossal for some reason. I think I just didn't want to get toxic or something, but this is one of the worst fucking exchanges I've ever made. I get at my, this is just horrible. I get on my rocks, and he's just gonna click the Earthquake, does a shit ton to me because I am 4 times weak, and he'll just Rapid Spin here. And here I make the most boneheaded move I think I made this whole tour. I click Stealth Rocks one more time, and he fucking is just able to get the +1 speed. I guess it's still like kind of a mechanic I have to get used to, but either way, it's not really that big of a deal. But it was kind of retarded. It was just kind of stupid. I shouldn't have just let him get that. Even with +2 though, I know he's not gonna be able to outspeed my Kyurem or my Torn, and I know he's gonna switch out because he wants to preserve Sun. So I'm just gonna click Substitute here, and I click the Hurricane, and I get a crit, and that just OHKOs Kyurem. So really unfortunate to him now. I would have obviously been able to click whatever again, but you know, it's not really a big of a deal. And the thing is, I was less concerned about it because I saw that I was basically, I saw that I was faster than the Victini. Now I didn't know because my Alakazam did click counter, and it was obviously going to be slower every single time. But he does click Searing Shot, and that actually eased my you know, frustration about getting the crit on the Kyurem, because Searing Shot, actually, I don't think there's any way it's going to kill a fucking, what's it called, a Tornadus, but maybe a Thunder or Bolt Strike or some shit like that would have also been bad. But yeah, here I decided there's no point in switching. I'll just Air Slash, and so my Tornadus has just done some complete Tornadus shit, and I'm just gonna fucking do some stupid shit. This is, I'll just preface this by saying this is just retarded. I forgot this thing was at 18%, so the way I play around this Houndoom is completely ridiculous. It's just so stupid. First of all, I should have stayed with Tornadus every single time, just clicked Air Slash, but whatever. But so now I'm going to go into this guy, and I'm going to click U-turn, expecting him to go into the Landorus or something. But yeah, that obviously won't happen because Landorus is at freaking 18%. I'm going to Sucker Punch here. Oh my god, this was just so dumb. I let him get +2 speed on my ass for no fucking reason. And let's see, so I see the Sucker Punch does 19.6, so I just let him get off another one right there. Because I figured, okay, well, Tornadus lives any hit once the sun is gone, but yeah, now there's not really much I can really do about it. If he's Scarf on this guy, then I could possibly lose to a Stone Edge, if it does kill me, but it possibly won't kill me anyways. And but it could crit. So look, this is just stupid. I go into my Tornadus, and instead of just letting this thing die to Solar Power, oh my god, I can't even fathom how stupid this play was. I basically just tried to choke the game away. I go right into my this guy because I assumed I would need to keep this thing around if I wanted to beat Scarf Landorus at like a super healthy Landorus, and I didn't want to just get killed by EQ. So I go right into this guy. Fortunately, my EVs allow me to live, but I didn't count that or anything. I was just freaking out, and I just went right into this, and I almost fucking lost the game. Oh my god, yeah. So, but luckily I was Scarfed. I think he was Scarfed on the Landorus, but I was just so dumb. That was just really bad showing at the end for me, but you know what? I will take it. You know, any win I can take. You know, it was just something that would make me feel a lot better about moving forward. So, yeah, live and learn, I guess. So let's get into the next game I had. So, this game that I have right here is going to be versus Pythons. So, like I said, you could pick whatever team you wanted. So, there was definitely a little bit of an abundance of just complete stall teams in this tour. Now, do I necessarily agree with it? No, but I do respect the hustle, I guess, because I will tell you there's plenty of players who, not to throw any shade, I do not think will be able to beat a competent stall, like, in any scenario, really. However, I do not consider myself one of those players, especially not in this game. So I don't remember what Dragapult I brought this game, but you guys will see I bring the Coughing, and the Coughing was a messiah this game. Let me tell you guys, you can run Neutralizing Gas on Coughing, and you can get T-Spikes up on this guy. You can Toxic the Clefable, and it won't be able to, you know, what's it called? It won't be able to get its Magic Guard. If you Toxic the Snorlax and its immunity, it doesn't matter, it's still Toxic. And you can switch out on Trapinch, which I figured he'd bring. I figured he'd bring Trapinch because Trapinch was just really good for Mawile, and yeah, mainly just Mawile. If you got rid of the Mawile, I think he assumed that would be his best way to just win this game with his Stally Mons. But look, I'll just show you how this works. So this is funny. He's gonna lead off with the guy, and he sees right off the bat I'm neutralizing gas, so I would assume he thinks that there's nothing he can do. Clicks fake out because why not? And I'm just gonna T-spikes up right here, and yeah, T-spikes are amazing because I can get T-spikes on the Snorlax and the Sableye. So this was an interesting set I bring on the Rotom. I bring Nasty Plot, Rest Talk with Thunderbolt as my only move. I figured if Trapinch came, it would only be able to first impression me, and then not really much else. Actually, no, I might have been Leaf Storm too, but I also think I was possibly Chesto. You guys see it does nothing to the Snorlax but a max defense, so it doesn't really do much back to me, and it does actually quite a bit there. And Heat Crash will come out there. Now, if he Heat Crashed the turn before, I would have just rested up earlier and then clicked it again. But yeah, there's my rest right here, and I decided I'd just go for that right as this thing is gonna just die right here, because not really much else he could have got into unless he was like unaware Clefable, which I didn't really see this game, honestly. Now, I expect the first impression I go right into my Tornadus, so good call on my part. And this is where I think this Nasty Plot buff is so nice, because it's gonna come to Zapdos, you'll see right here, and I'm Wakan. I Icy Wind, it does 54%, quite a bit, and Discharge come right here, and I eat my Wakan, and I just live that really easily, so thank God for no Para. But here I'll just Icy Wind again, because there's no point in over predicting whatsoever. I will speed everything on his team. First impression does not kill me at this range no matter what, so yeah, I'm completely fine either way. So I decided I'm just going to kill off this guy, and I can get my regen obviously, so I just Hurricane. And yeah, so I have not missed a Hurricane yet, thank God. So I'll just go right into my Drag Ball here on this Trapinch, because I figured, you know what, I might as well just not really keep this Dragapult around for anything. Like, what does it really do, honestly, at this point? I mean, I think I was like some set that just couldn't really break Clef at all, because I figured I might as well not even go that set. So I'll U-turn out on the Ferrothorn, and in's gonna come my Mawile. This is standard SD Knock Sucker Punch with Play Rough. So I knew no matter what, I was getting a kill here, and I figured I'd rather let it be the Ferrothorn, because if the Ferrothorn dies, then I can just win with quite a few mons, including Alakazam. Because what does he really have for Alakazam besides first impression at that point? So yeah, I'll just go right for that, and it's gonna come to Clefable. So I figured if he goes into this thing, it's definitely faster, which it is, and yeah, it kills with the Moonblast right there. But I'll be able to go into my Coughing here, and he will take poison overall, and I can rest up here, since I said to rest on everything, but I knew he'd go into the Zapdos, because why not? So I clicked Toxic there, expecting it to come in. And yeah, Clear Smog is my only attacking move on this thing. I figured I didn't really need coverage for Ferrothorn, because I'd rather just get up T-Spikes on Ferrothorn anyways. I'm not thinking I'm going to be in a 1v1 position with the Ferrothorn either way. So yeah, good call on my part to not have that happen. But here, Trapinch going to come in trying to trap me, but he can't do that. But he does make a good play here. He reads my Rotom switch, and he goes right for the first impression. So good call on his part. But now that he has used the first impression, I know my Alakazam with the Life Orb will be able to come in. Oh, actually, there's no way it's Life Orb did that much. Yeah, I think I brought just Sash this game with Encore and all that shit. So at that point, if you want Clefable, I would have been able to Encore or whatever. But he does just sack the Zapdos at that point, because why not? Yeah, he's Life Orb Clefable here, so I know no matter what, I'll be able to break through it with my Zam. Because he's going to be soft-boiled, and I guess if he's T-Wave could be an issue, provided I get full parried many times. But either way, I still have Nasty Plot Torn. I can just get regen if I need to. But yeah, you'll see now that he's offensive, I just Ice Shock there. And if he went for soft-boiled there and he lived, I would just Encore and win the game from there. Because as you see, I live on my Sash. I think, yeah, I brought the Sash just for this Trapinch in case it did decide to come. And yeah, I will knock out that stall team. So I was very happy with that win, because a lot of people were talking about how this is one of the better stall teams, and I was just happy to knock a stall team into loser's bracket really early. So I think this was his first game too. So definitely a satisfying victory for me. Now here's our next game. We're up against a guy named SkySplitter, and he has a really cool offensive team. He's got Dragapult, Megalop, Raikou, Swallow, Uxie, Ferroseed. I'm trying to think what else. I actually really don't know what else he had on this team, honestly, besides this. But yeah, cool team. I brought mostly spikes and stuff just to try to deal with him. But I bring some cool techs this game, and I'm not going to reveal them yet, but they may or may not win me this game right here. So we played this like right after we played Python, so that's why this nickname is there. I bring Rocky Helmet Tornadus because it's able to deal with this Lopunny really easily, and no matter what, I can just U-turn out every single time, because if he is taking Rocky Helmet damage, it's a win in my book. As I can get into this guy. Now, I didn't think he'd stay in here. Probably should have just attacked, but also he could have just Thunder Waved me there and probably lived any hit I went for. So fair enough as to why I stayed in. This is one of the worst. All I had this tournament on, honestly, was really horrible exchanges with my Colossal. First of all, I accidentally ran Steam Engine, so I get +4 speed, which is hilarious. Definitely didn't mean that. Flame Body is better in 90% of situations, and he brought Water Pulse on his Uxie for this guy, but it's doing better than it would, right? But it's still doing nothing, and look, I just get para-fused literally all the way down. And I can't keep up rocks, and I can't get up anything of my own, or spikes, and I can't get anything of my own. So that was complete bullshit right there. And now this thing's dead on injury. So yeah, bullshit. But yeah, we'll just see how that detriments the play. But he's gonna be Rock Incense on accident on this guy right here. And now he's getting up spikes. He meant to be Rocky Helmet, which was interesting. I mean, I don't see why you'd ever not run a Violet on your Ferris Seed, but you know, to each their own. And he gets up spikes. I'm like, oh, this is not good at all. Because I did just completely lose my hazards. Now I know he's gonna get up a Leech Seed or another spike, so I just had to Earthquake. I know he's not gonna Seed Bomb there. Just wouldn't really make much sense considering the nature of my team. So I will go right into the Mawile, and he'll just get up, I think, another spike. No, he Gyro Ball's right there. Now, I probably shouldn't have taken this damage on Mawile, but, you know, at this point I was just so tilted from the early parts of the game that I just decided, whatever, fuck it. So now this is looking pretty bad for me because he has this Raikou in. I have limited switch-ins. Not really much I can do versus it that well, but I do have my Seismitoad, which is full Spadef, and since there's no hidden power, I am able to completely wall this thing, so I decided that was kind of a win in my book, so I will just knock this thing off as it comes in because I do predict it. This thing or Swellow could have came in expecting my EQ, so I just had to knock off. It's fine. Alright, so I am back on a completely different day, and my apologies, but I did get slightly interrupted there, so yeah, we'll just get right back where we left off. Like I said, I'm going to click knockoff again as the, actually does predict that, and go us right into the Lopunny. So yeah, unfortunate, but it's all good. No Poison Touch, so I think I was Poison Touch this game, but it's all fine. As I do have this thing, which can come in on the U-turns, as I expected to do, get off Rocky Helmet damage, and that's all I really needed to put it in chip range of the Dragapult, so I was feeling pretty fine. But in will come the Raikou now. At this point, with my Seismitoad, I should be able to live 2 more hits, so I do just go right into it. As he does predict it, obviously, goes right for the Shadow Ball, but I couldn't really risk that. Kind of an obvious play, but like I said, I couldn't risk that, so yeah, no big deal. And here I'm gonna make a dumb series of plays. I click Earthquake expecting Uxie, he clicks T-Wave, I click Earthquake again expecting the Lopunny, and on this turn it's so obvious he's just gonna go into the Lopunny again, so I should just click Earthquake one more time. It can't really do anything to me, but I click Knockoff, and yeah, kind of a dumb move on my part. I shouldn't have done that, but good play to him, and he is able to kill off my Seismitoad, so I'm weaker to Raikou now, so this is like kind of a common theme that you guys are going to see throughout most of these games. I lose my 2 defensive mons, and I'm left with these 4 guys. And these 4 guys put in work all the time. Let's just leave it at that. Anyways, he's going to sack off the Uxie here as I go into my Tornadus. Pretty obvious U-turn, so I didn't want to lose momentum by going into anything else. And I will just go into my Dragapult because I don't really have another good switch in. I could have gone into my Alakazam, but I want to preserve what my set is. Now I have Protect on all these mons, and so as he goes Swellow, I'm going to Protect. Now I figured he's not going to go Swellow unless he is a Scarf Sets, but I might as well just figure this thing out. If he's like some sort of burn set, you know, I want to protect. I want to protect before I just attack it, you know, to be careful. But I realize at this point there's no point in me keeping around my Tornadus, so I am just going to sack it right off to the Swellow. And yeah, you guys are going to see, you might be like, oh, well, that was kind of one of your win cons with the remainder of his team, but you guys will see I've got some plans on what to do. So I go into this thing because I knew I was going to have to sack something, and it ends up being the Lopunny, so that's really good for me. And on this turn, I will say I do get really lucky. Now, I didn't really expect Dragon Darts too much versus me on this thing, but if it was Dragon Darts, I would have had to do some really fancy switching around, predicting his moves, but I will just click Protect to see what he goes for, and he goes right for the Shadow Ball here, yeah. And this is where I'm going to whip out my secret attack, because he clicks Shadow Ball. I'm pretty sure he's not going to Darts here. So here, I will just click the Trick Room, and now he's in a really tough position because even after that Sucker Punch, now he's in a position where if Mawile hits the rest of its moves, it should be able to just win this game right here. Now on this turn, I expect him to probably switch out here, thinking I'm going to Sucker Punch, just possibly to not miss. So I'm just going to click Play Rough. Pretty safe play considering I don't die to a Sucker Punch, obviously. And now Dragapult's going to come back in, and I'm like, okay, no reason to take unnecessary chip damage in case he's some whack shit like E-Speed Raikou, so I will just Sucker Punch that. And yeah, in is going to come the Raikou, and you guys will see, he actually does turn out to be extreme speed. So if he got that Sucker Punch off, it would have maybe done enough damage to actually kill me, but I'm not entirely sure the calcs on it. It actually probably wouldn't have. Yeah, 16% does not seem like what a Sucker Punch to a Mega Mawile with max HP would do, but yeah, very good game to SkySplitter. Definitely a much tougher fight than I would have ever imagined, and I'm glad that my tech in the back with my Alakazam was able to do it. So yeah, good overall. So let's get into my next game right here. So this is versus King Clyde. He's got a pretty scary team. He had another Mega Lopunny, which I actually got quite a few Mega Lopunnies this tour, but the thing about Mega Lopunny is I'm really not that scared of it after it got pretty much nerfed. I don't think the U-turn thing is like a really big buff, considering it did lose all the good normal stat, which is really huge for it, but whatever. He's got a Latios, really annoying, Grimmsnarl, Vaporeon, Rotom, and Scavalier. Now, if I remember from this game, he did have a Nidoqueen on the bench, so I was a little scared of it for my Mawile. I think he had Iron Head for it, predicting the switch in to come in, but yeah. There was no Nidoqueen, so I was feeling totally fine with my Mawile. I thought it was going to be a pretty big threat this game. Let's just get right into it, though. So I'm going to lead off with my Tornadus, as he's going to lead off with Rotom. Now, it coming in first doesn't mean anything at all, but I know I'm going to be able to live any hit. Even if he T-Waves me, it's not the biggest deal in the world because I'm a bulky Tornadus. So I decided I'm just going to get rid of the boots. Getting rid of boots on Rotom is really big most of the time because you know, it's just kind of really nice to get that Stealth Rock chip damage on it. Now, I kind of expect him to go for double Toxic, but I was also like, what really can I do here? I mean, I could pivot around, but I don't really mind a Toxic on my Seismitoad, so I might as well just get on my rocks. And in's going to come the Latios. Now, I didn't mention this, but I am Assault Vest on my Tornadus, so I will go right into that. And I will click the, I believe I clicked Knockoff here, because I knew I could take any one hit from this thing really easily, especially even a Psyshock and like a Draco. I know I'll be able to take no matter what, as it does go for Draco, and I do just shoo it up. Something I didn't mention earlier that I should probably mention. So on my team went from Alakazam with 372 speed to the next Mon being fastest on my team being Rotom. So I took very big advantage of this throughout the actual entire tournament. I don't think there was a single game where I didn't take advantage of this. I basically aggressive crept every single one of their Mons to creep my Rotom. So this is an example of that. This Tornadus had, I believe, 301 speed or something like that. But it still outsped this Latios because it was creeping my Rotom. So yeah, that's something I knew I could take advantage of. I didn't reveal it much during the tour, obviously, because I didn't want anyone to exploit that versus me. That could be really bad if something that should be outsped just gets the speed on you because of your aggressive creeps. But yeah, U-turn, very obvious play there. Now I'm going to go into this thing and just see what he does. I am Scarfed on Rotom, so Volt Switch just seemed like my best play. There's no Nidoqueen to wall me, so I will just Volt Switch and see how much damage I can do. But Volt Switch right here is going to come out, and it's going to do 51%. I decided I'm just going to go into my Tornadus. I can get Regenerator on this thing. I won't do a lot to it. So this is totally fine no matter what happens. And I believe here I decide to just go for Knockoff. I think that's my best play. No, I just U-turn here. Yeah, Knockoff or U-turn worked. I think I might have just clicked U-turn expecting maybe Rotom to come in, but either way, he just gets this thing up, and there I knock off, getting rid of the leftovers, which is really nice for me. And he'll get up a Wish right here. Now, I am at 22%, so I know I can't stay in. If he protects, there's no point in me risking that, but yeah, so he's actually going to switch out into his Rotom right here. Now, I knew I could catch that probably if he went into it by going into Seismitoad. This is just a safe middle ground play overall versus Vaporeon and the Rotom, since I am Water Absorb. So I was feeling totally fine with that play. And taking Toxic, like I said, again, doesn't really matter all that much to me. So in's going to come the Vaporeon once again, and I'll pull a double into my Rotom because Vaporeon is very obvious on that turn, so he's going to protect here. Now, he doesn't have leftovers, so Volt Switch is much more free now. But yeah, I'm just going to Volt Switch out right here once again, and I will go into my Mawile this turn because I know I can get immediate pressure on this. Now, I might have made a kind of a choke play here. He wishes up, and I expect him to switch or to go for a protect, so I click SD. But he does make the good play and he goes right for the Scald. Now, the thing is with a +2 versus this Vaporeon, because it is obviously more SPDF, I was still feeling fine versus it. I wasn't really that concerned, even if he did get the burn, but not getting the burn was really nice for me. And I'm going to click play rough here because I know it's going to murk something on his team at +2, and this is Cavalier does not appreciate it at all. Goodbye. I just Sucker Punch in case he's some whack shit like what is it, like, I don't know, Scarf Escavalier, but yeah, I knew it was going to attack there. Rest didn't make much sense versus me. It kind of needed all the moves, so I was fine with that. Now here, as he went to Latios, I really debated going for Sucker Punch. I really thought I could just easily go for a Sucker Punch right there, but I ended up deciding that because the sub was so obvious there that Sucker Punch just seemed like a good play overall, but I ended up deciding that it was not worth the risk whatsoever. I still had a lot of mileage to get out of my Mawile, so, and going into Torn just seemed like a safe play overall. I wanted to play more safe than aggressive with these moves, so yeah. Protect here is going to come out, and I'm just going to click the Volt Switch once again, because it is a damage roll to possibly kill right here. Now he's not going to risk that, he's going to go into his Latios, but now this is what we call completely stuck in the Vortex. I know for a fact that he is not going to be a Scarf Latios, so I will just trap him in the U-turn Vortex, and there's not really much you can do. He can't get out of this scenario really without losing him on, so yeah, he decides it's going to be the Latios, and he's going to escape the Vortex for now. Only for now, because I can easily come back in. So this is a very good scenario for me. Now, once again, I am a Focus Sash Protect Zam, but this time I'd counter, I believe. But I didn't want to blow it too early. I didn't want to show him what I was, considering there was still a Grimmsnarl on the back. And Grimmsnarl was still a threat no matter how many Mons I had, because of what sets it can run. If it was like a bulk up set with Sucker Punch, it could be really annoying, but yeah. I decided to click EQ there. If you went Rotom, I didn't really feel like predicting it. There was no point. It's just taking rocks damage, and I was totally fine with it. But Vaporeon was just the more likely play, and I just EQ, expecting that to come in, and I will be able to get that 2 KO on it, so really good for me. And in is going to come the Grimmsnarl. Now, did I sack this thing here? I probably did, yeah. I just had to sack this here. There wasn't really much of a point for me to have it anymore. I just wanted to scout out what this thing's set was. If it got a bulk up off on me, it would have been really bad, so I think it's just Toxic there. I'm pretty sure I did have Toxic on this set, but I'm going to go into this right here and scout the moves. And I'll Volt Switch. He does quite a bit. I didn't want to click Trick right there because if I tricked and he went to Rotom, that was really bad for me. This thing could possibly be crippled versus the Grimmsnarl, which I just really didn't want whatsoever. As Darkest Lariat comes out, and seeing that damage, I know for a fact that Sucker Punch does not kill because of the nerf it got in Gen 7. So I will just click the Hurricane right there, expect him to maybe stay in, but Rotom will come in. This is totally fine because I can just click U-turn no matter what. So U-turn will come out right there, and I believe I go into my, I go into Mawile because no point for me to really have this anymore. And I can force him to click Overheat, but I also went into Mawile because if I wanted to Pain Split, it gave him the least HP possible. So yeah, totally fine play on my part. And In's going to come back the Grimmsnarl, but I'm still fine with this as the Rotom is going to be able to click Volt Switch here once again because I don't really need it to click anything else and pick this thing off. And I'm just able to completely wear down his entire team with my Volt Switch U-turn core. Kind of just putting the hurt on every mon he has. You guys see there, probably even a crit would not have killed my Tornadus, so this Regenerator core with the Volt Switch Rotom is really nice for me. And In's going to come to Dragapult, and I'm just going to click Dragon Darts after I Protect here on the Scrappy Fake Out just to win this whole game. Now even if he subbed there, it wouldn't have been a big deal at all because he can, just get infiltrated on with my Dragapult. But if he clicked Agility there, I still have my Sash Sam in the back. Not to mention, I can switch out with Tornadus a few times and live. Not to mention, I can keep my Dragapult around, and I'm not even sure if I die, so yeah. Good game to Clyde Frog, definitely a good one. Really good showing from my U-turn Volt Switch core, so that was really nice. I felt like the Grimmsnarl, it could have been a much more offensively scary set, but it came in so late that I wasn't really sure exactly what it would actually be on this team, but yeah, so overall, GG, and we move on to the next round. The next round is something that I was really scared of for a while. Now, if you guys know me and how I play, or just if you ever talked to me about what I think are the stupidest ways to play in this game, you guys probably know that I think Rain is just complete bullshit, especially in Gen 8. and especially post DLC. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. You get Hurricane Kingdra, you get fucking Bulk Up Swampert, you get all these rain mons that are just amazing. You get Nasty Plot, Weather Ball, Torn if you want to, 100% accurate Hurricanes, you get Zapdos. So there's just so much to do with rain in this meta. So, but I just don't really think it's like, I think it's really cheap, honestly. But the thing about LevineMa here's team is that it seemed like kind of a unique rain team. He had mons like the Zorora to kind of pick off, be a good, I guess, breaker and sweeper on his team. He had Latias too, which is not a mon that's seen very often, considering that a lot of people think Latias is pretty bad. But yeah, I could appreciate his team overall, but I had to bring solid countermeasures to beat it. So I think I'm Scarf Pult on this team. Scarf Pult doesn't outspeed Kingdra, but it does outspeed Swampert. He didn't have a Kingdra though, so I was totally fine with bringing Scarf Pult versus him, just because I tend to bring that versus Weather just to be safe. Let's see, I had a defensive Rotom because defensive Rotom can beat Swampert. I had Mawile with Fire Fang, Play Rough, all those good moves. I had a Swift Swim, I think I was Rindo, but I had Swift Swim Power Whip on my Seismitoad, so pretty cool because it does outspeed Swampert by a little bit if you are max speed. Sash Shazam, I think, once again, and I don't even remember my Torn, so let's get into this. He's going to lead off with the, let's see, the Ferrothorn. I lead off with the Dragapult. Now, if he's Occaberry and he clicks Gyro Ball or Thunder Wave or anything like that, really big deal. So, also, not to mention, he could possibly just be a, he could possibly just live the hit no matter what, even if he's not Occaberry. But he doesn't know my set. I could be Specs for all I know, so he's going to go into Politoed, not risk it, but I figured he'd do this, so I click U-turn. And in's gonna come my Rotom. I figured that there's no point in me not going Rotom whatsoever. Now this is the freest Will-O-Wisp of my life, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I must have clicked Will-O-Wisp because yeah, Ferrothorn will come in and there's nothing he can really do to me. He can Toxic me, but that's just about it. So I decided to Volt Switch out on there and go into my Mawile expecting a possible Toxic, but he does actually just get up, I believe, his Stealth Rocks right here. Just fair enough play overall. Now here I'm going to I expect, okay, if he's burned with a no attack, with a minus attack, there's no point in him staying in versus a Mawile because I can easily get up a sub, which I did have. So I figured he would not stay in here, so I just clicked the Play Rough here. And he actually just stay in, so that's very interesting. If I subbed there, it would have been such a horrible position for him, but I guess he does get that play right. I didn't think it was an amazing play, but yeah, he does get that Leech Seed off, and now I'm in a kind of an annoying position, but it's all good. Rotomo's going to come back in because I figured it's not going to have Toxic if it has Leech Seed. There's just no point in having it, really. And Gyro Ball will come out right there and do 5%, but I will just Volt Switch out right here once again into, I believe I probably go into my Mawile here once again. No, I go Torn. Okay, I wasn't Boots on my Torn. Honestly, yeah, these games happened so long ago, I can't remember every little thing about them. I just remember the important details. Now Zorora, I can just knock off. I expected him to not kill me because obviously he's a Latias, he's not very strong. But knockoff seemed better to me than U-turn because I can get the item off of the Zorora, which is really good. And yeah, he'll just knock off that. He'll knock off on his own, and yeah. I'm going to lose my Yashi Berry, but it's not that big of a deal because I can still get off like a Pain Split versus a lot of his team. Starting right now, I'll get off a little bit of health right back versus the Ferrothorn, so good for me overall. And now it's pretty obvious Volt Switch right here, so I figured he'd expect it no matter what. But either way, it's fine. I figured I might as well just get back in my Mawile, be completely fine. But Gyro Ball will come out right there, and yeah, I'm like, okay, well, this just means I get a free sub once again. So this is what I've been trying for earlier on in the game, and now he's gonna have to lose another Mon probably, or take a lot of damage on his Pert. So this is really good for me. But we will see right here. I clicked Play Rough expecting him to go into the Swampert, so kind of a dumb play on my part because you could have easily just gone. Well, I kind of expected him to go into the Politoed too, but it wasn't that dumb because I don't actually lose my sub because he did click Leech Seed. But I click Fire Fang here and I miss, and it was really annoying because there goes my free kill basically. I'm gonna have to kill the Ferrothorn and then just lose my Mawile to something else. But yeah, I'll just Play Rough right here, and it's all good. Now in is going to come an interesting Mon. It's going to be the Latias instead of anything else. Now I was like, why would he go into Latias? This Leftovers Latias. To click sub, yeah, it's a possibility, but if he clicks sub, he's just waiting for me to Play Rough him and kill him. So I didn't think that was going to be it. I thought that if he went to this thing, it was going to be to do something that was going to be like a little bit out of the ordinary. So I was thinking, what does this mon get? What does it get that could possibly beat this? And it immediately came to me. It was Reflect type that it could have. So I'm like, okay, this thing is definitely a Reflect type Latias. And if I click Fire Fang on the Reflect type, it's going to make me look like an absolute fucking god. Look, no ifs, ands, or buts. So we'll see right here. He's going to Reflect type, and I'm going to click Fire Fang, and it's going to do 63%. And I felt so amazing after that. Oh my god. And now that I've made that prediction, he's so low. So I'm like, okay, well, there's no way he recovers here. There's absolutely no point in recovering. I could just spam Fire Fang until you die, and it's the same situation. So I'll just Sucker Punch, and he'll take a lot of damage on this thing. And Mystical Fire is going to come out right there, and it's going to kill this thing off. But now it is in range of a Heat Wave from my Tornadus, so I can go into that thing and be completely fine. Just fire off a Heat Wave right here, as it will end up killing the Latias. So yeah, that made me feel so good, honestly, just getting that really good play right. Definitely pretty proud of myself for that one, but the game's not over yet, so I need to keep my head still in it. But I know that this Aurora can't really do much to my Rotom, so I go into that thing. And in's going to come the Tornadus, kind of an expected switch, but Tornadus, I've decided, okay, well, I'll just sack this thing off. He goes for U-turn, and he doesn't kill, and that means I'll get a Pain Split off and get so much HP back, but actually Will-O-Wisp there, so I don't know what I'm saying. I Will-O-Wisp expecting Zorora, I guess, which I guess was another fine play, but this next turn is actually where I'm able to get off that Pain Split, and I'll get so much HP back just for nothing. And yeah, I'm back at 50, so this Rotom is definitely putting it overtime with these Pain Splits, but after all, I do just have to sack it to a Heat Wave, so not much I can do there. But Dragapult is now looking in a prime position to win. The Ferrothorn is completely dead, so I can just spam Dragon Darts. Pert is going to get 2 KO'd if he does come in. Well, maybe 2 KO'd, I'm actually not entirely sure. It could have possibly lived the hit, so I didn't want to chance that just yet, but I will just Dragon Darts here, and yeah, it's going to just 2 KO this Politoed, which he didn't need to sack, so we can come in with Pert here. And yep, Pert will come in right there. Now I decide I might as well just go into my Torn, because I'm able to live the Ice Punch or the Waterfall if he goes for it, but also I just don't need it at all anymore. I can just sack this thing off right here. And he goes for a sub, and I'm like, that's a little bit problematic, but I should have enough countermeasures to deal with this thing anyways. But then my Torn just lives, and I'm like, oh, that's so clutch. Torn living is amazing because it means I get up the Hurricane. He can't sub on me, and yep, now it's time for my God Toad to come in, my Mr. Swift Swim fucking Seismitoad. So I figured he was probably sub bulk up with that set. Sub bulk up Ice Punch Earthquake makes sense versus me, and yeah, see, I click that Power Whip and it just destroys him. Oh my god, just marks the Swampert in rain. But so that was also really cool. Liquidation comes out right here, and I will just kill off the Zorora. So yeah, but this game is basically a win at this point because I just Liquidation the Tornadus, and then if it doesn't kill, I can come with my Dragapult in the next turn. But we'll see right here, he clicks the Tailwind here, trying to like pull some Hail Mary with confusion and shit, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. I had enough turns to always win this game, no matter what, because I do have my Sash on my Zam. So my Haybai does break through the confusion with the Hurricane, and I'm able to win the game 3-0. So GG to LevineMa. I definitely enjoyed that game overall. I had to mute that thing right there. So yeah, GG. Enjoyed that game once again, and let's move on to the next one. So if you guys saw some weird shit right there. But anyways, this next one is up against the king himself, the GOAT, someone who I've played on my channel before. Just none other than Lejon Flames. Now, he got pretty far in this bracket, so definitely props to him. And I was afraid to play him because he had a pretty scary team. But once again, it's another Megalop squad. And once again, I'm not that scared of Megalopony, but he had other threats that I was kind of struggling with. Like the Garchomp for one. Garchomp absolutely murks my whole team. You guys can see right here, I don't really have a switch in, considering I was Spadef, I think, on my Toad, to deal with something that I don't even think came. Yeah, I don't even know what sets I was even thinking here. But let's just get right into it. I think I had I had Sash, same protect shit on my Zam, but I had Nasty Plot this time because Nasty Plot did a lot of work to his team. Should we go with Torn? I had Dragon Fang on my Dragapult because it just murked him. all sorts of cool sets versus him. But yeah, Dragapult's gonna come out as my lead, and he'll just lead Fortress. Now, I wanted to flamethrower there, but if he gyroballed and killed me, which could have happened or done a lot of damage, I decided it wasn't worth it. So I'll just click the U-turn right. No, I actually do flamethrower. I don't know why the hell I did that. I think I just, well, it actually does make pretty good sense. I expected the rocks there. Which, you know, I didn't want to give him any free turns, but yeah, it's whatever. As I basically verified that Comfy is the switch in, so yeah, kind of all pretty good right there. And you guys are probably seeing some whack shit in the left corner. I'll probably fix that in the video. Yeah, the sub is going to come out from the Comfy, and I wasn't really that concerned about sub Comfy, honestly. I thought there was, well, I mean, I kind of was, but because he couldn't be leech seed as he was, but still, like, it was just like a little bit annoying. I mean, I couldn't touch it with Dragapult, but I still had other mods that I could possibly beat it with. And I'll just go into my Alakazam here, because obviously leech seed does not break from sub, or doesn't do any damage to Magic Guard. Now, this is unfortunate, though, because this set did get me good in the fact that it did make me lose my Sash on Alakazam, which I kind of figured I'd need versus quite a few of his mons, so I'll just Psychic right there, and yeah, see, still more annoying shit in the corner, but it shouldn't be a big deal. I Psychic, and it does 49% to this thing. I didn't even calc. I was just like, I'm not even risking that. There's no chance, but I go into my Mawile as he goes into the Garchomp, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what he's going to do here. He's probably going to predict my Torn. He'll click Stone Edge, but he actually clicks Earthquake, and it does so much damage to me because I'm this Spadef Toad with Rest Talk, but yeah, so on this turn, I'm just going to Ice Punch, expecting maybe the Zapdos to come in, but it does not, and instead comes the Comfy, so I decide I'm just going to click Rest on this thing, I believe, or Earthquake, yeah. And then on this next turn is where I'm going to click Rest or go into my, nope. Nope, I thought I clicked Rest at some point in this game, but I guess I just didn't. Yeah, I remember though that I did end up just losing, yeah, okay, I didn't, because I lose my Seismitoad to this thing. I decided to just sack it. I might as well. So this is not a great start for me, honestly. I'm not really doing too much to his team besides the Fortress, which honestly, you know, Fortress is never the biggest threat or anything, but yeah, I decided to go Tornadus because it does look like a Scarf Chomp, possibly, but I'm not entirely sure. And I will click Nasty Plot. I'm trying to get this Zapdos with the same thing I got Pythons with the Wakanberry fucking whatever, but he does fucking dodge, and that was so annoying because I just lost all viability on this Tornadus basically versus the Zapdos. So yeah, and here he will go into Fortress, and I make a boneheaded move. I didn't want to switch anything in on the Stealth Rocks, but I also just didn't know what this thing was, but he clicks Earthquake, and I just fucking drop. So I'm like, okay, well, there goes my winner's run. Honestly, there just completely goes my entire winner's run, so hopefully I can maybe do something, but it doesn't look likely. I'm just gonna click U-turn here because I knew he'd switch, and I'll go into my Alakazam. Now, this thing, I'm not entirely sure what was happening here, but I click Psychic and this thing just drops. I am modest, like I said. I do all those creepings, so Modest Zam was a pretty easy bring, but versus this Lopunny, I will just click the Protect right here, as he will click the Fake Out. I clicked Protect in case he wanted to go for Retaliate or something like that too, so any of this, no big deal. But Dragapult I decided to go into because he's going to click U-turn. I didn't want to risk like Ice Punch on my Torn, I guess. No, but also if he went to the if he went for U-turn on my Torn, he could have just gone into Zapdos and basically forced to kill, which I wasn't a big fan of. So I decided to mitigate all that damage and go into my Dragapult instead because I knew he'd U-turn, but also he was just going to click Comfy, and I knew versus the Comfy, that's where I can get in my Zam, and I can just do really good things. Since he's losing his Zam switches really easily, so I don't want to stay in on a possible Draining Kiss, so I just go into this thing as he Leech Seeds, and it obviously doesn't do anything to me, but yeah, now I will just click the Psychic here, expecting him to maybe switch or just do whatever, but he actually decides to just stay in and Draining Kiss, so I figured he's going to Synthesis on this turn, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Nasty Plot because it's just my best move overall. As Nasty Plot comes out there, and this Comfy is getting lowered overall, but Draining Kiss will come out, and I figured he might sack the Fortress here, and I'd have to do this all over again, but he actually decides to not do that, so this is just making this game a lot shorter, I feel, because he's losing the Comfy, and I'm like, oh, well, now I can possibly easily win with my Dragapult, because he has to lock into either Dragon Claw or Earthquake versus my team. It's a 50-50 every single time with this Garchomp, but yeah, I decided after breaking that Comfy, this thing's done its job, not really useful to me anymore, but yeah, I just sacked that thing off. in will come the Dragon Pole, and since I am Dragon Fang, I guess he assumed I wasn't going to be able to kill him, but I am adamant with the Dragon Darts, so goodbye Lopunny. Yeah, it's completely gone, so really good for me. As in will come the Garchomp, and I will go Torn. If he's Stone Edge there, great play, but he clicks Dragon Claw, and I'm like, okay, well, if he went hard into this thing, it's probably a Scarf set, but I can scout that thing out, so I will just go into my Mawile as he makes a double into Zapdos, expecting that. Possibly, or just expecting me to just, I don't even know, but I click Play Rough there, and Fortress will take a lot of damage. Now, since this thing outspeed my Colossal, I wasn't fucking with it at all. I clicked Sucker Punch. So yeah, goodbye Fortress. And now, a game that seemed unwinnable is very easily crawling right back into my favor because I am just able to get this good pressure off, and I decide there's no way I can lose if I keep my Tornadus and my Mawile alive, since he has to lock into one move versus me, possibly, and if he doesn't, then I just revenge kill with any of my Mons. So here I expect a Hurricane, but I just decided, okay, getting this damage off so I can come with Mawile and kill is even more important, but yeah, he instead misses a Toxic, didn't matter at all because of this Garchomp will just come right in. I decide, okay, let's just see if it is Scarfed or not, and it is indeed Scarfed. I was definitely more speed than it, even with my creeps, because I needed to outspeed the Lopunny, creeping through the Alakazam for that thing, but I know that it's Scarf, so I can come with my Mawile and I can just win the game. So GG to Lejon, definitely a well-fought game, and yeah, I believe now we make winners top 8, so that was really hype for me. I was definitely really excited because I didn't think I'd make it very far in this tournament with my team, but it's definitely really coming around. Definitely had some really good games with it so far, so I'm very excited, and let's get into this. So this game is versus a guy named Jaren 2.0, aka Ampha. He had a really good run. He went through some really good players with a little bit of luck, but still, you know, it's still getting through these players, so more power to him. But either way, I decided versus him. You guys can see his team right here. It's kind of a little bit more of an old school build, but it's still pretty cool. Versus him, I had mons like Life Orb Zam. This is where I kind of started bringing Life Orb Zam to most of my games because it was really good. Just regular defensive on both these guys right here. And then I had a Brick Break on this. I had, let's see, what else did I have? I had, like, I don't know, I think this thing was Heavy Duty Boots, some sort of bullshit. This thing was like a Colbur Berry. I had Colbur Berry on this, which I do remember. Max Attack and all that shit. But yeah, let's just see what I do here. Tapu Bulu is the lead on his part, as I lead with my Seismitoad. Now, I know for a fact he's probably just going to click Horn Leech. Doesn't want to take too big of a risk turn 1. As, yeah, Horn Leech will come out right there. And I am Rocky Helmet on this thing. In case of these Bulu attacks, but either way, it's still fine. I just want to whittle this thing down so I could possibly win with my Alakazam a lot easier because I am Nasty Plot. But I know he's going to stay in, or he's going to switch out no matter what. There's no point in taking a Will-O-Wisp on that thing when you can just go Trans, so I do Volt Switch, and Slimestone will come back in. Now, with my Rindo Berry set and my Spadef investment, which I have, I know for a fact that even if he clicks Power Herb Solar Beam, it will not kill me right here, so I take this as an opportunity to get at my Stealth Rocks, and he clicks Nature Power, and that's going to turn to Energy Ball, but fortunately, because of my Rindo Berry, even with the grassy terrain, it barely does have, so really good for me because of my investment, so I'm able to keep this thing at a decent enough health to maybe take on some more attack from this thing, like this thing when it's not in the terrain. I just go into this guy because there's no point in me not, and yeah, I figured he's probably not, now that I'm special defense dropped, he's probably going to try to take this opportunity to just kill me right here. So I U-turn out, and I go right back into my Seismitoad. And yeah, Seismitoad will be able to take 2 Magma Storms no matter what. So, yep, I'm going to drop this thing in, and yeah, it's just going to be able to take these hits. And now the Grass Terrain is gone, so we can't click the Energy Ball anymore. Now, on this turn, I really should just click P-Jab. I was hovering over it so many times, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it because it could have stayed in and made some whack-ass play, but yeah, P-Jab is probably my best play right there, looking back at it, but I figured there's no point in risking when I still have plenty of mons to just beat these guys, as I go into my Tornadus, but he is Scarfed on the thing, probably. I would assume he's Scarfed because of all the much damage he did, how comfortable he was clicking this, but also because on this turn, I am Scarfed Torn of myself. That's right, I'm Scarfed, I remembered now as this turn happened. I'm Scarfed Torn of myself, but he felt completely comfortable staying in and clicking Play Rough. So he's either Koba or he's Choice Scarf, which I basically kind of confirmed from that series of plays right there. So yeah, Seismitoad will come in right there. As I would just be able to click a Play Rough right here. I figured he's probably going to go, or I clicked Knock Off, yeah. that was probably my much better play. Just clicking knock off, possibly get rid of a Heatran item if he went right into it. So yeah, good overall for me. But now I decide, okay, well, he's just gonna get up his Stealth Rocks or click, you know, Earthquake, Toxic, doesn't matter to me. Rotom is just the best play overall, so yeah, in comes the Rotom, and now I will be able to just Volt Switch once again. No, I click Leaf Storm, just like I said, playing it safe. Yeah, I just click Leaf Storm because there's no point in really not at that point. I just want to play it completely safe. You could have made an aggressive play and just stayed and clicked Toxic, but I didn't really feel like over predicting around it because there was, once again, just no point. But here I decided to sack off my what's it called, my Seismitoad as he clicks CC, and here I'm like, okay, well, he's either Scarfed into CC. Well, no, he's actually, no, on that turn, I think, no, that's the turn I confirmed he wasn't Scarfed because my Volt Switch did outspeed with the Rotom. So yeah, I decided Alakazam is just going to be a good revenge killer right here. Now, in's going to come the Heatran and try to take this thing on, but I knew it's not going to kill me with Magma Storm, and there's no residual, so I click F-Blast, and he's going to eat his Chople. That made sense to me that he was going to be Chople, but either way, another F-Blast should kill, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't switch. I mean, I might as well just click Focus Blast, because, yeah, like I said, there's no way I'm able to switch, so I'll just Focus Blast there, and he will just sack off his Heatran, so that's good for me overall, obviously. And now I'm in a pretty good amount of health with this thing, not to mention I can also just sub on this guy if I want to, but I decided to not. I decided instead to just sack off my Rotom, because there was no point in me not. Switching was free, because, you know, there's no pursuit on this Mega Absol, obviously. So I sack off my Rotom, get off that helmet damage, and that confirmed puts him in range of a U-turn from my Dragapult, so that just felt comfortable with me. And in is going to come my Dragapult, as I stated. Now, he's probably expecting me to sub here, so he doesn't actually click Sucker Punch, he clicks Knock Off or something, but I just U-turn and I just kill that thing. And now my Alakazam is looking pretty good, because I get up the damage I need on these Zapdos, and then something else can possibly win, like my Mawile. So I figured I'll just go into that thing and be completely good, but Sasha comes out here and it actually just completely kills this thing. So Modest Life Orb Zam, I guess, completely killed that guy. Oh my god, it was completely crazy. He says it's a roll. That doesn't matter at all though, because I just need the damage off, literally. It's funny when people do that. Like, they complain about stuff that just really doesn't matter in terms of the game whatsoever, but he clicks Quick Attack on this Life Orb Sylveon, and I'm like, oh my god. And yeah, Psyshock bops that thing, and in's gonna come to Seismitoad, and I'm like, okay, well, Psyshock probably kills this guy too, because Alakazam is just broken, and yeah, it does. So GG to Jaren. Good players overall, but I did come out on top in this one, and now I am in the top 4, so I'll be right back to record those games, because they were definitely the interesting parts of this tour overall. Alright, so here we have winners top 4 of this tournament, and we're up against Gel Bellic, and he has a very interesting team. Definitely a really cool team. He had these guys you see right here, and then in the back he had a Mega Charizard Y and a Clefairy, so this is definitely a cool team overall, and I was pretty scared of it, but I thought I had some good prep to overcome it overall, so you know, let's just not even talk about this team overall. Let's just get right into it now. Leafeon's gonna be the lead as Rotom is gonna come out. Now, something I noticed, a lot of people playing versus this guy, because he beat a lot of really good players. A lot of people playing versus him realized, or I should say didn't realize, that this Leafeon could have just had so much overtime if they allowed it, but I realized right away that there was definitely no chance that, like, I was gonna let this thing just run rampant on my team because I didn't know how to deal with it. So I decided this thing is worth just getting a trick on, because it's gonna be like a Spadef set. So yeah, I get his Rocky Helmet as he clicks Trick, and yeah, that's really good for me immediately, because I'm immediately able to pressure out something that's really good versus me. And here I'll click Thunder Wave, just expecting to maybe stay in, switch to Lele, any of the above, but here I just click Foul Play versus the Excadrill, expecting him, because Excadrill didn't kill me there, but also I could have easily just Foul Played and to a KO if he was a more offensive set, but you guys see that still did a lot of damage versus him anyways, and he's just going to click Rock Slide here anyways. And now I wasn't really sure why he did this, but he does get the flinch, I guess, so more power to him, but whatever. I decided whatever, I'll just go Seismitoad here. He's just clicking Rock Slide for some reason. I'm not really sure what his end game here is, or what his game plan is, but yeah, he's gonna Earthquake now as I'll get up my rocks. If he's Rapid Spins, I'm not afraid of it at all. Basically means I get up more lefties recovery, I think, kind of. Well, maybe not because of new buffs, but yeah, it also just kind of is a way to pressure out the Excadrill. I thought maybe he'd switch out on that turn too. It made a lot of sense to me, but he decides not to. He decides to just sack his Excadrill, and I'm like, okay, well, Heatar's there, but there's no drill, so I'm not sure what his game plan is, but one thing I know for sure now is that this is a Scarf Lele. He wouldn't be playing so willy-nilly with his speed control if he didn't have a Scarf Lele. So I figured that that was the set that was going to come here, and now he's going to click Psychic, and I'm like, okay, well, I just get a kill with Mawile, basically. I mean, I don't really see like how I don't get a kill here. And I am a subset, so I think on this turn, no, not on this turn, but yeah, I'll click Play Rough there, and Rotom will decide to come in and take so much damage, and now I just have to go into my Seismitoad. He predicts that though, goes into Lele, so good play on his part, expecting my switch to the Mawile, or switch to the Seismitoad here, and yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll just sack it, and once again, I'm in a position where I just have my 4 guys left, so yeah, I decide, okay, well, now this is a free turn to sub, because if he goes into the Rotom, he's going to be forced to attack me. I can Sucker Punch. If he goes into this thing, he can't break my sub, like almost all the time, and I did expect him to not be able to break my sub, and I was correct. Leaf Blade is not going to break my sub even with a critical hit, so yeah, we'll just Play Rough here, and it will do so much damage, and now I can just Sucker Punch for free, because there's no point in him just not sacking this thing. There's no point in him losing more mons than he has to, so goodbye Leafeon. And Silvally Fairy is going to come in. Now, this thing can't U-turn versus me and break my sub because I have 4 times resist. Maybe with the crit on the Leaf Blade, it could have broken my sub, but still, I decided, you know, I'll just get up and Play Rough. And it does so much to the Silvally, so a lot of good work coming in from Mawile, but I know I'm not going to want to stay in because I still need it to kind of take the hit from the Lele just in case. But I do go into my Tornadus because it is just a safe pivot anyways, and yeah. Now Lele is going to come right back in. I decided to just go into my Alakazam. I figured I can take 2 Psychics, and either way, if he doubles into anything, this is like the least punishable out of all of them because Mawile is outsped by T-Tar and Rotom, but Alakazam is just able to take on anything. And Psyshock, I don't have Shadow Ball on this thing. I figured I didn't need it with Life Orb and all the other moves I have. And I didn't because I was going to Nasty Plot up and kill this thing anyways, but yeah. He has Scarf, so that's not going to be in effect, but either way, I do have a Scarf Dragapult, and I know it will be able to outspeed and kill with a U-turn, and this game is looking really good for me. Rotom's super low, and the Tyranitar is at, like, I don't know, it's going to die to a superpower, so his one chance, I guess, would be to be some sort of Rock Polish set with Chople Berry, but I figured if he wasn't that shit, then I should have just won, and even if he was that shit, I still outspeed with Dragapult, and I still do a lot with superpowers, so hopefully I can just win either way. And with my Sucker Punches after the terrain goes out, but Superpower does just OHKO that thing, so yep, that's going to drop, and I'm like, okay, well, Rotom's so low, I'm just going to be able to kill it with a Superpower right here, and yep, that is exactly what is going to happen, and GG to Gelbellic, and now I have made the winners final, so definitely did not expect to get this far in the tournament, so I was definitely pretty happy for myself, and yeah, if you guys didn't know, if you win winners finals, you end up with grand finals, and yeah, then someone has to beat you twice to win the tournament in that grand finals. So the person I was up against in winners finals was a player by the name of Austriangeorge, TD Dynamo Dresden, and he had a really scary team and had a really good run. But you guys can see his team right here. He had a Dragapult, Clefable is right there. This is a Gallade. He had Ferrothorn, Gliscor, Raichu. He had a Spiritomb, I think, which he didn't bring, which is fine. But I bring basically my trusty team right here, just the 4 golden weapons and these 2 guys. I thought it would be good versus him. I have some pretty interesting sets. I have Willow Hex on this guy because it can beat Clefable if it comes in too many times, Spell Tag, and I have Sucker Punch on it. I have Mawile pretty bulky with Ice Punch, Fire Fang, Play Rough, Sucker Punch. I have Heavy Duty Boots on Torn. I have Life Orb Zam. I have a with Encore. Let's see, I have a just regular Scarfed Rotom, and then I have just Stealth Rocks on this guy. So let's just get right into this, because honestly, this game's a little bit fuzzy for me, but yeah, not the end though. The end is definitely pretty scary. He leads with the Raichu, and I'm like, okay, well, he's just gonna Volt Switch here, but there's no point in me not Play Roughing. I can just see what his immediate switch is gonna be. I wanted to click Fire Fang here so bad. I want to click Ice Punch there too, so I figured Play Rough's just the best play, and I just get an immediate crit, so sorry about that to him, but now I'm just gonna click Fire Fang because I didn't feel like predicting, and I ran a calc here with my spread. If he's like a bulky Gliscor, which you seem to be from the Fire Fang damage, I live the EQ and I kill most of the time, and I do live it and I do kill, so this is a god Mawile right here for living that hit right there. But yeah, good shit to my Mawile. Now I know he's gonna Shadow Sneak here, so that's why I brought this in, so I'm just gonna keep that thing as Death Fodder, and yeah, Shadow Sneak's gonna come out right there, and it's gonna do 21%, so this is already looking really good for me. Now Raichu is gonna be his immediate play, but I know at this, so I'm gonna click U-turn right here. but oh no, I thought he gets the static. I don't know why I did. I just assumed. And here, this seems like a pretty good turn for me to just click Psyshock. It does quite a bit to the Ferrothorn. And now I can, oh, damn, yeah, I probably should just F-blasted right there, but I got really paranoid of him going into the Dragapult, and yeah, he does actually end up doing that. Now I click Sucker Punch here because I don't even know if he knows that I have it, but maybe what I should have done is I should have just switched out, but it's all good anyways. Just Sucker Punch is there. I see that on the Dragapult, and I'm not really sure what set he is. Now let me just throw this out right now. I did not see a single reason really for him to run Banded Sucker Punch this game. I thought that made minimal sense, honestly, versus my team, because you can click Dragon Darts and then you click Sucker Punch. I don't know why I wouldn't just run Life Orb with that, and then you can run Fire moves versus me, but let's get into that later. I go Toad. He has to switch out and to get my rocks. Now, I didn't want this thing to take too much damage, but also I didn't know what else to do, so maybe I shouldn't have let this thing take all this damage right here, which I end up actually just doing. But yeah, Stealth Ox can come right there, and another knockoff does actually not kill this thing. So I have to click Scald here, hoping to maybe burn, which I do end up doing. So he gets off a knock, gets rid of my leftover, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, doesn't do that much. But it's all good anyways. So in's gonna come the Clefable, and I will just click Scald right here. Now I had some really janky prep versus this thing, honestly. I needed my moves, but I also needed some weird ways to beat this Clefable. So I click Knock Off there, and I get the Poison Touch as he clicks the Calm Mind. And here you guys are gonna see I have a really weird tech. I have Gastro Acid, so I'm able to do residual damage to this thing over time. So I guess that was good for me, but either way, you know, it's not the best anyways. As I expect the soft boiled here, it made most sense. So I go into my Alakazam, and here I know he's going to expect the Encore, so I'm going to click Psyshock right here. But he does just sack off the Ferrothorn. Yeah, Encore was super obvious, so I didn't want to reveal that too early. But in's going to come to Dragapult, and this is where I make the most scuffed plays of this battle. This is where I really just regret all of it. Oh my god. Okay, he clicks that, and I don't know why I didn't just calc that damage, but that is banded damage. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my Torn, and we'll see right here, he clicks fucking Dragon Darts, and even with all this bulk I have on my Torn, look, he gets a 48% roll, and then he gets a 52% roll. So I was so happy for like 2 seconds, and I just dropped, so what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, well, I just fucking choked this game away, because I needed Torn. Torn was so good this game, but then I realized after that, he's banded. He has banded fucking Dragon Darts, so, and not to mention, he's adamant banded. That's the only way I could have done that damage to my Torn and my Seismitoad, so I know my max speed Dragapult will outspeed, so I just have to click the, I believe I click Hex here, just expecting him to maybe try to stay in, I don't know, but I figured I had to take the Shadow Sneak here. I basically just did. Oh my god, yeah, that was just so stupid of me. And yeah, I just Hex there, and I have to kill it, but yeah, whatever. In's gonna come to Raichu, and I'm like, okay, well, this thing is probably like some weird Scarf Raichu if it did that. So, not really sure why he did that otherwise, but he clicks Knockoff there, and gets rid of my Scarf, and this is just another really dumb moment of me. I click Volt Switch, and I fucking outspeed this thing, so all this shit's coming back to bite me with this aggressive speed creep, so this is a really weird end game, honestly. I really wasn't sure what the hell was going on here, because I thought his best play would be a Volt Switch into the Clefable, or the Dragapult, and then I just easily am able to beat those things down, but I fucking outsped this thing, and now I have to go into my Alakazam and take a Volt Switch, which is annoying, because it means he's going to get into Dragapult for free. He's going to be able to revenge kill me. So I have to sack off my Rotom because I need my Alakazam to break through the clef still. It's absolutely necessary. Like every single time, no matter how I slice it. And Dragon Darts will come out right there. And I know, once again, I can revenge kill this thing with Dragapult. So I will just try to do that. And let's see. This thing's going to come in. I'm going to click the Hex right here. But Hex is going to do, thank God, just enough. And I didn't overpredict there. I figured if I did, then I would have probably... Well, either way, Hex would have killed off the Clefable because he had poison on him and no lefties. So, yeah, that was just my best play overall. I just click the Hex there as he does just sack the Raichu. And, yep, In's going to come to Clefable, and I'm just going to U-turn. If he went to the Dragapult on that U-turn, that would have been a god play. But no, I couldn't even play around that. I mean, if he went Dragapult on U-turn, I would have fucking freaked. I mean, that would have been just my hats off, because that would have immediately won the game, just completely secured it. But Slash Shock, you'll see, would do so much damage. And now this whole game is coming down to a 50-50. I outspeed with my Dragapult, but he does have Sucker Punch. And if he's clicked Sucker Punch and I click Will-O-Wisp, he'll lose because he's banded, which I already know. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. So I should have known. I'm Hex and U-turn. That's all he's seen. I've seen Sucker Punch from him. I should have just expected him to not click Sucker Punch. But then I got in my head and I was like, okay, well, because of that, then he is going to click Sucker Punch. And this is literally the definition of a 50-50. It's two Mons on the same field. One of them kills the other, and then the other one kills the other. It's literally the definition of a game-ending 50-50. Because Hex definitely kills Dragapult. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And you guys are going to see, I click Willow, and yeah, that's what losing a 50-50 looks like. And that was one of the most heartbreaking losses of my life, because I worked so hard in so many games to get here. But at least I was like, okay, well, I can maybe win in losers, but it might be a little bit rough. But we'll see. So I could have gotten Gel Bell again, but I ended up not getting him. I ended up getting this guy named Hayburner instead, who has this scary team right here. Now, he's apparently like some Smogon dude. I don't even know, but apparently it was pretty good, so I decided I would try to just play as well as I could versus him. And yeah, he's got, like I said, a scary team. First in Metal, I've played this whole tour, which I mentioned earlier. But yeah, so I remember this team pretty well. I had just a regular bulky Torn. I think I had boots on it. I had a Life Orb, Steel Wing this time for Clefable, because I could just break through it, because it was probably going to be Spadef versus me. Steel Wing, Dragon Darts, Fire Blast, and U-turn. I had Nasty Plant, Endure, Salic Berry, Alakazam, which could have been a really good breaker versus or a sweeper versus him. I had a just a Toad, you know. I had a fucking Colossal, just, you know, these two just standard defensives, and then I have my knockoff guy. So let's see how this game goes. I'm lead off with my Tornadus. As he leads off with his own Tornadus, I decide versus the Rotom, this is a free knockoff no matter what, every single time. And even versus this is free knockoff. I get rid of boots, I get rid of whatever. So I will just click knockoff right here, and yeah, he will go into his Melmetal, and I will see that this is an Assault Vested set. Now, this is going to lead to a lot of different plays later on, so yeah, we'll just see how that all works out for me. But basically, since he's Assault Vest, I expect this thing to be kind of like a more Spadef set. Now, I'm thinking this is really good for my Alakazam, because now a Focus Blast at +2 will probably always kill this thing. If it was Assault Vest, then maybe not earlier, but yeah. I also know that because he's Assault Vest, he's not going to be some Power Herb Solar Beam bullshit versus my Seismitoad, so I will just go into it versus Double Iron Bash. And I will get it my Stealth Rocks, as in will come the Tornadus. And this Tornadus, once again, it's not that big of a deal. I can go into my own Tornadus, I can go into Colossal. Quite a few mons can go into, but I go into my Colossal, and he does obviously predict that, goes for a knockoff, and this next turn he can go for a U-turn if he wants, but I decided to just get at my Spikes, because if he's no Defog, then I need my Spikes up to get damage off on the Melmetal and the Garchomp for my Alakazam sweep later, but the Spike is still just really good versus him, as he will get up a Wish here, and I will Stone Edge, just because, you know, this is he's basically walled by me more. But either way, it's still fine. And I expected he's probably just going to click some move, because he's going to want to get this HP back. So I click Spikes again, just in case, versus the so I can get off that Spike versus the Melmetal, so my Dragapult has a much easier time. And now it just has to go hard into Garchomp. No Wishes up or anything, but I click Spikes right there. And yeah, Garchomp is now a big threat. And I'm like, okay, well, Stealth Rock's going to come over here, obviously, so I can Rapid Spin. I expected Stealth Rock, so yeah, good Rapid Spin call on my part. And now I think he's going to go for EQ, so I'm going to go into my Torn. I basically just expected Brox to not come up here, but he does go for sub, and I'm like, okay, well, I just gotta hope this doesn't kill my Torn, which it very easily could, so I have to Hurricane and hope, but we'll see. That Torn is just going to die, so goodbye Torn. And that's rough, but I do have Rocks and Spikes up, so that's really good for me still. I go into my Dragapult here, and I expect the Clef to come in, so I click Steel Wing. This is probably my best series of turns in the entire tournament. I click Steel Wing, expecting this Clefable to come in, and now I'm like, oh, I know these people play. I know how they, you know, these people play. He's gonna try to keep his Clefable. He's gonna want to Wish it up versus the Seismitoad or the Colossal or whatever the fuck, because they'll just love their Clefable so much, and yeah, he knows he's going to come back in on the Magic Card and shit, so it's going to be completely fine for him. I'm not going to have that. I know he's going to switch out. I click Dragon Darts right here, as In's going to come the Tornadus. Bop, 1, bop, 2, he's at 6%, and that was unfortunate that I didn't just kill, but it was still really good for me because the Clefable is obviously really close to death now. And I just clicked Dragon Darts again. Maybe I should have U-turned there, but he is now just doing this whole switch around game, you know, all that good shit. And I'll just click Steel Wing once again. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked it, but because he's gonna go into Rocky Helmet Tornadus or Tangrowth, and yeah, it's gonna take a lot. But this Regen Core is annoying, but it's manageable because I can just Fire Blast right here, and yeah, I'll Fire Blast right there, and it will do 24%, which will get leftovers back, and it will just do this all back. But now I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm landing this Fire Blast, I don't give a shit, and I'm killing, so goodbye. And yeah, it just kind of happens. I mean, maybe that was too risky, but I just didn't even want to fuck with any of these more turns anymore. Now, this is annoying because my Dragapult is really low now, but even still, it's not a huge deal. Now, I figured I wouldn't U-turn out right here in case you wanted to go back into Tangrowth on some cheeky shit, but I didn't want to take too much more Life Orb because this thing was still really good versus some later on in the game. Yeah, it was all still fine no matter what. Now, here I know Tornadus or the Tangrowth is going to come back in, so I will click the Toxic here. And this Toxic on the Tornadus is huge for this late game, which we'll get into later. But Tangrowth's gonna come out here. I expect him to go for a double thing. I think I must have double Toxic here. Yeah, I did. Okay, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I didn't double Toxic there. That was the most obvious U-turn of my life. So yeah, Colossal's gonna come out right here, and I decide, okay, well, I'll just go into this thing expecting maybe, I don't know, whatever he's gonna go for. But instead, I'm just going to lose this thing off to an Earthquake, which is completely fine for me because I saw the end in sight. Zam was looking amazing, especially with Spikes up and all this. I can easily win with Zam if I just make a couple of good plays right. So Psychic's going to come out right here. And yeah, Psychic's going to drop the Tangrowth right there. I decided Tornadus is kind of fine versus me, but even still, I can go into my Mawile. He's not going to click Heat Wave there. It made just minimal sense. He's probably going to click Knock Off or U-turn, but he actually clicks Defog. So this game just got a little bit more interesting. But I know what I can do is I can just click the Knock Off right here, and the Tornado and the Rotom, which was more than likely going to come in, is just going to lose his Heavy Duty Boots, which is totally fine with me. But yeah, now the Garchomp will come in, and I'm just going to switch into my Seismitoad. Now, I know this thing's not going to kill, so it's fine that he made this double because I can kill with an Ice Punch here, and Earthquake will come out and it will do 54%. But yeah, this thing is just fine dropping because now I should have this win with Alakazam, provided I land all my moves. So yeah, Tornado's going to come out right here. I will just be able to go into my Mawile because, once again, I'm fine with this thing taking toxic damage. Knockoff is fine versus me too. And I can't double here because he will just U-turn, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I can still just try to click Knock Off or whatever as he goes into this guy right here. And I'm going to click Play Rough. Or no, I click Fire Fang, expect maybe Mud Battle. Maybe I should just click Play Rough, but either way, it's totally fine. As he overheats and he misses. And this is one of the funniest moments in the whole tour. After he missed, he comes in the chat and he's talking about how he literally just won with Torn. Yeah, I'll just scroll it over for you guys just so you can see. It's really funny how all these Smogon players literally, not just throwing any shade necessarily, but all these Smogon players literally are coming at me telling me like every time the most insignificant hacks happens. That actually probably would have done a lot better for me, honestly, because I would have gotten in my Alakazam much quicker, gotten up that nasty plot, could have done whatever, but people are just telling me that these Mons just win. They do not. Let me just throw it out right there. They just simply do not. So yeah, thanks for that, but if you want to whine, that's totally fine with me. But yeah, Pain Split, I expect. So yeah, I'll just go into this guy. And now I just kind of have to sack. But now this is where I debated. I could have gotten up my rocks, but I also just decided, well, I didn't have Scald on this thing, so I just had to click Toxic just to get off that thing. Now, maybe if I got on my rocks, it would have been a little bit better for this end game overall, but yeah, it's still fine with me, as Overheat's going to come out right there once again. And I will just go, you guys see right here, I'll just go right into my Zam, and I'm like, okay, well, he's probably not T-Wave. This is just my chance to click plot. And you go into this guy right here, and this is where some shit that's just, I don't know. It's just the game we play, but let's just see. I'll just show you guys the turn right here. I click Focus Blast, I miss, and I'm gonna lose my Alakazam. Does it die to 2? Yeah, it dies to 2. I thought maybe it died to 1. And he'll see I have my Salac Berry, so I mean he can't deny that whatsoever. But yeah. People are saying if I click Psychic, I won. No, not necessarily whatsoever. And it wasn't even like people I knew. It was people coming in from Smogon and stuff. So if I click Psychic, he ends up like right here because he's max bit F and stuff. Dragon Darts does like this, and it does like this. So he can just switch around so often versus my Dragapult, and he can just click darts over and over again. I can just keep he can keep stalling me out basically. I was almost entirely sure because Tornadus, once it gets back to full, which I'm pretty sure it's already at in this, not sure how this thing works right here is what I'm saying, like the way that you see it all. If it gets back to full, it doesn't die to my darts, and I just lose a turn, I lose my Mon, I lose all this shit. So all he has to do is keep his Tornadus full, and then this thing can take those hits, takes Fire Blast or Psychic into whatever. So I basically just, people are saying I should have Psychic there and I choked this game away. No, I didn't. Okay, so yeah, like get off your high horse, honestly, because I did not. Like maybe there's a chance I could have if he played horribly at the end. Yeah, possibly, but we'll just see how the rest of this game goes. You'll see Fire Blast is going to do whatever there. 43%, nothing. Yeah, so once again, confirming my suspicion that a Psychic wouldn't have done shit, even at +2. And yeah, so at this point, you guys can see how this game's gonna end. I try to sucker, whatever. I know I'm not gonna win this game at this point because I don't kill the Torn. So yeah, GG. Good game. I was definitely a little bit salty considering that like my opponent was whining for nothing, and then I ended up losing to a Focus Blast miss, and then people were telling me that I should have won without it, or like I could have easily won without it, but yeah, you know, what can you really do? It's kind of the game we play, so GG. Either way, that does not take away from the fact that this was a very fun tournament for me. I definitely enjoyed using most of these mons. Maybe not this one, but most of these mons I thought were a lot of fun to use, and I thought it was a really good showcase of just my skill and prep and play overall. So I'm overall satisfied with the result. I came in third, so just barely missing out on that grand finals. But the two games I lost were to some. Well, actually, I lost this game to the Focus Blast miss, which, you know, that's just the game we play. I can't really complain too much about it, but it's fair for me to complain when my opponent was complaining about something much less significant, not to mention, but yeah, whatever. And then the game before, you know, I just lost the 50-50. You know, not much I can do about that. Good call on the 50-50 to him. So what I'm saying is this was just a very fun tournament overall, so I'm glad I was able to play in it and I was able to make it so far, especially after being so concerned I was going to lose round one. So yeah, hope this was an enjoyable video. Just thought I'd show you guys these games. Good luck to two finalists. The two guys I lost to were the guys who ended up in grand finals, so they will be playing each other, so we'll see how that all goes for them. And yep, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.